Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Garcia, and I'm giving you I'm giving you a presentation on Hugh Rank's persuasive model. Rank argued that persuasive communication techniques fall into one of two categories: intensify or downplay. A persuasive argument would intensify positive characteristics while downplaying the less positive. By the same token, a persuasive argument might intensify negative characteristics, for example, about the competition, or by downplaying the competition's positives. Rank then divided both intensify and downplay into three subparts. Intensify consists of repetition, association, and composition, while downplay consists of omission, diversion, and confusion. Repetition of a word or visual pattern not only causes it to become remembered, which is persuasive in itself, it also leads people to accept what is being repeated as being true. Thus, an advertiser of soap powder may focus on how wonderfully white clothes become by repeating the word whiteness. Association links the item with an idea or something which already has emotional connotation. For example, something desired or feared. The soap powder advertiser may thus use attractive people in wonderfully clean but not too upmarket houses. It also is using the unspoken idea that cleanliness is desirable, and by extension, extreme cleanliness is extremely desirable. Intensification may also enhance through the overall composition of what is being presented. For example, contrasting the message with an opposite, thus, the soap powder advertiser may start with a person wearing muddy clothes. Again, repetition is straightforward. Association, only slightly more complex, is identifying with something with which an audience has a positive preconceived notion about. And composition deals with the arrangement of messages in writing and patterns of writing, design, imaging, or the combination thereof. Going to downplay, we have diversion, omission, and confusion. When we divert or distract a person from something we do not want them to attend to, then we may succeed in reducing their attention to it. The soap powder advert may divert from concerns about damaging the environment by highlighting the small quantity of powder needed for each wash. Another way of downplaying is simply to say nothing about the things that will counteract the arguments. Thus, the soap powder manufacturer will not talk about the damaging effects of constantly washing your clothes. Confusion may be used when the other person knows about an opposing argument. It may also be used to suffocate weaknesses in one's position. A typical way of doing this is by showering the other person with data, or perhaps asking them complex questions about their own position. Soap powder manufacturers, for example, may give a scientific argument about how their product actually works. Again, omission is straightforward, but rather than to repeat it, you rather leave that part out. Diversion is also simple. It's the concept of introducing another concept as in answering the question as you wish you were asked. Sometimes crisis communication experts call this a bridge. And then lastly, confusion is providing answers so convoluted no one understands what you're saying. In other words, it's the quotes no one makes sense that have the most meaning. Hugh Rank's persuasion model focuses on intensifying or downplaying the good or the positive aspects in one product's cause or candidate, and or to point out the negative points of the competition. Repetition is used with slogans, jingles, themes, and examples that reoccur in an effort to reinforce a set theme or goal. In this cigarette advertisement for Camel brand cigarettes, the reoccurring theme plays on your emotional psyche with the words passionate, inspired, and original. The images serve as a visual representation of the words displayed. The words are placed with the image that are to hence the theory of repetition. For example, the image of the match and flame has the word passionate, which the root word is passion. This could make you think of a For example, the image of the match and flame has the word passionate, which is the root word of passion. This could make you think of a burning passion and or desire. This then connects the next image and word inspired, which sounds like desire. The last image connects with the first using the same font but in bold. This is all part of a repeating theme. In addition, the theme of a carefree, cool, and fun lifestyle that comes along with smoking is depicted in the images. Camel brand cigarette campaigns has used their advertisement to promote the idea that smoking is actually cool. Their ad intensifies the aspect of fun in an attempt to downplay other negative aspects of smoking. Association is the second tactic used to link the product, brand, or candidate to something liked or disliked. This ad links being social and having fun with its brand. It uses keywords passionate, inspired, and original to invoke a playful sense of creativity. This ad also uses color scheme of red, white, and blue, which links smoking Camel cigarettes to America and or Americans. The overall association that is that Americans love to have fun, and the assumption that fun and smoking are somehow positively correlated and or linked together. Composition is how we visually see the product, brand, or candidate. This can be displayed through the use of symbols, angles things are seen from, and or the use of space. The three images pictured in this advertisement are displayed in the order in which they are read, left to right. The flame from the match, followed by the two fingers pointing, and lastly the image of people smoking and playing the piano are all placed in the center of the page, utilizing the rule of thirds in photography. The message from the Surgeon General is located in the left corner, the lower left-hand corner of the page, which is considered to be dead space. This space is also called fallow space, which the eye only glances at that specific portion of the advertisement for only a mere second or moment in time. Downplaying is the second part of Rank's model, which is the key in dismissing possible facts by omission, diversion, and confusion. This ad leaves out the fact that over time cigarette use is then harmful and the effects from smoking are not so much fun. In most cigarette ads, there's no mention of an actual cigarette. However, according to the American Lung Association, there are approximately 600 ingredients in cigarettes. When burned, they create more than 7,000 chemicals, and at least 69 of these chemicals are known to cause cancer, and many are poisonous in itself. This ad does not include any visual context or symbolic information in regards to the health risks associated with cigarettes other than the strategically placed Surgeon General's warning. This ad omits these facts and diverts your attention to the pleasure engaged in the act of smoking. This ad could be seen as confusing if the images displayed do not match your perspective of what a smoker looks like. Rank's model appears to have one main reality, one truth, and is laid out in a very simplistic manner, that we should all see things the same way when using this model. To give another example from day-to-day life, this hypothetical situation between Joe and Matt are depicted in this presentation. For instance, while arguing about their favorite movies, Joe continues to insist to Matt that the Die Hard movies are much, much better than the Lethal Weapon movies. Rank's model contends that Joe will use one of the four main strategies to argue his point to Matt. Joe will either stress the stunning performances that were given by Die Hard actor Bruce Willis while pointing out the acclaim that Willis received for the movies, or stress what he believed was poor acting by Lethal Weapon lead actor Mel Gibson while pointing out the negative reviews Gibson may have received for the movies. Or, for the third option, you may downplay the weak plot lines which were often criticized in the Die Hard movies. And fourth, Downplay the terrific performance by Lethal Weapon actor Danny Glover, as well as downplay the acclaim Glover received for the movies. A simple way to look at Hugh Rank's model of persuasion would be first to get someone's attention, whether it's the consumer, audience. The target market always varies, but the first key in a majority of any business situation or any situation in life would be to 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 create or find some attention getter or attention getting of some sort. And following that, you have to build confidence, credibility, and overall trust. You have to be able to trust that person selling you a product in order to get anywhere in persuasive situations or persuasion overall. And then third, you need to desire or find the desire from that specific consumer, customer, audience. Find their need and find how you can somehow fit that need, whether it's the product or service that you're selling or persuading somebody to take part in. You have to find the desire and the stimulating desire to do so. And then following that, you need to create a sense of urgency, or stress, so you can hurry that individual by making a decision that may or may not be ethical in their perspective or in their parameters of usual salesmen or salespeople that are approached to the customer, because usually the stereotype of a salesperson is obnoxious, annoying, and it's only a one-way conversation in most instances. So you have to divert that status quo by creating a sense of urgency. And then following that, you need to buy the consumer. You need to make sure that the consumer has what they need through that desire, their need that you presented to them. And the response to that desire and need would be to buy your product or service or anything in that regards, and get that response, seek that response out from the consumer. And then benefit seekers is there's a simple way to look at being a benefit seeker, which would be keep the good and lose the bad. So an example of that would be to keep the muscle if it was a personal trainer or a gym. Keep the good and lose the bad, which is the fat, right? And then get the good and avoid the bad. Get the good would be to go and buy healthy food from a healthy grocery store, such as Sprouts or Amazon Fresh. It ranges, but to avoid the bad, it would be to minimize or to downplay the fast food industry or the overall bad foods such as junk foods and so forth. And then benefit promisers, that's really where Rank's model of persuasion hits home. And first, of course, intensify, own good, others bad, and you do that through the information given in this presentation, repetition, association, and composition. And then on the contrast to that, by downplaying, you own the bad and others good. And that's driven through diversion, omission, and confusion. That's just a simple way of looking at Hugh Rank's model of persuasion. Those 5 key steps initially will cause you to implement that model of persuasion, the downplay / intensify model, using the subparts, repetition, association, composition, and then diversion, omission, and confusion. Thank you. This is my presentation on Rank's model persuasion. Again, thank you for your time and attention. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.